Do you want to know what happened in the first quarter of the 2018 real estate market? If you're curious or you're thinking about making a real estate decision, check out this episode of Tom's Take to find out what all these stats mean and how that can help you make a great real estate decision for the remainder of the year. I'm Tom Toole. Welcome to Tom's Take. Always appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This week we're going to go over what happened in the first quarter of the 2018 resale market and residential real estate. So before I get into that, let me give you the sample size here and the data that we're working with. So we're looking at Chester, Delaware, Montgomery counties, as well as the city of Philadelphia, with the first quarter of 2018 compared to what happened the first quarter of 2017. So let me get into the stats, and then we'll talk about what it means for buyers and sellers and anyone else looking to make a real estate decision. So number of sales in some parts of our market declined 8.5% last year and are up a little over 2%. And again, all this depends where you are. Average sale prices are up between 1/3% to a little over 6.5%. Sellers and listings are continuing to get prices very close to their asking price, ranging from 93.4 to almost 96%. Days on market has dropped between 16 and 18% with a range of 31 to 36 days. That's a pretty big change from what we saw last year. Inventory continues to remain at a low level, between 3 and 3.4 months supply, meaning that if nothing else nothing else came onto the market, that's how long it would take for everything to sell. And that's down between 12 to as high as 22% from where we were last year. Again, depending on exactly where you're located. And lastly, the high-end market above $650,000 still only is making up a small percentage of the sales. When you look at the overall picture, there's almost 4,000 homes that sold in the first quarter in Chester, Delaware, Montgomery counties. And those properties were only 6.58% of all those sales. So what does this mean for buyers and sellers? That's a big question. So let's hit on sellers first. What we're seeing here, and let me pick on a couple of these key statistics. Inventory's low. When inventory's low, there are going to be more buyers out there than homes available, which is good for you as the seller. That's what you want. So there's a real opportunity out there, and as a result, you're seeing it's taking less time for these homes to sell. You're looking at a little less than a month right now. And you're also getting very close to your asking price when you're priced correctly. That's kind of the key caveat there, because there's always those overpriced listings that don't sell and sit on the market. So what I'm seeing here is the market's moving fast for sellers. It's important to have a really aggressive on-the-market strategy. So think pre-launch campaign, think pre-marketing, think aggressive opening weekend open house. Those sort of things are going to accelerate your traffic and get buyers to compete. All this shows me there's a ton of opportunity here with the inventory levels, how fast it's taking to sell, and how close properties are getting to their asking price. And we're still seeing the average pricing on an upward trend in the first quarter. Buyers, what does this mean for you? So mortgage rates are still coming in the low to mid 4s right now for buyers. It's not up on the board here, but it's important to realize. Historically, that's a very low number. Sure, it's not 3.5 or 3.75, but when you look at what's happened in the past, it's a much better number for buyers. So you're still able to borrow at a low rate, which is important. Now, seeing that the number of homes selling are dropping a little bit, inventory's low, it also means it's a competitive market. And you're seeing how fast properties are selling. So if you're a buyer, there's a couple things you can do to be ready to buy. One is get your financing, get your pre-approval squared away, get all your financials ready to go. So if you see a home on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock and can't get your lender on the phone, and there's already another offer or two in on the home, you're ready to act on it. So get everything together and be prepared for what's going to happen. Don't be surprised that there's multiple offers on a property. That's pretty common. Be prepared for it and get in a conversation with your agent about how you can win those situations. Secondly, make sure you're able to act and look at homes very quickly. The best homes sell quickly. It's taking less time for properties to sell. So one, be ready to adjust your schedule. Make sure you can get out of work or leave early to go get into homes. And secondly, prepare your agent for being in a position where they need to move pretty quickly or have the support system in place to be able to do that. The market really hasn't changed too much from last year, with the exception of inventory continuing to drop, but these conditions aren't abnormal. So what I find is most important is having a strategy in place, sitting down and knowing exactly what to do. So obviously there's a ton of information we threw at you here. If you've got specific questions about your home, the market you're in, the neighborhood you're in, because real estate can get very, very local. Even within different school districts and townships, the market acts a little differently. So be ready for all that and get in conversations with your agent how to be prepared to take advantage of this data so you can win in the real estate market. If you got any questions about stuff you want us to cover in future episodes, ping us on social. You know where to get us. Appreciate you tuning in this week, and we'll be back next week with more content and more ways to help you with the real estate market. Take care.